Let's move on to race 2. The horse that Trent thinks will start, horse number 2. The horse that Trent thinks will start favourite in the Melbourne Cup is number 2, Buckaroo. Brilliant in a Cox Plate. My question, I'll start with you, Trent. Is he a winner? Does he know how to win and stick his neck out? That's the huge query for me. He's got the class. We know that.
I don't care about if he knows how to stick his neck out and win. Horses don't know if they've won races. It's an absolute myth.
I disagree.
Absolute myth.
They're pack chasers, mate.
Yeah, well, he's won a Group 1 Underwood by 3.5 last spring and
should
have won a Caulfield Cup.
Loomed up 14 times since and not gone past him.
Should have won the Caulfield Cup last year when he just got stuck back in the ruck. And if you don't think he's a line chaser off that Caulfield Cup run last year, I don't know what you're thinking, because he
chases the line, but he doesn't stick his neck
out. The horse
out.
doesn't know where the line is. He can't even see. They're running at 65 k's an hour. They can't see where they're going. Anyway, this time in, building nicely. 125 time form rating in the Cox Plate last start. Cox Plate this century, to go Cox Plate straight to Melbourne Cup, you've had 39 runners for 6 winners. Markets expected 2.5, and they're beating home 3.5 horses on average, more than what they were. So just shows you that the weight for age form is the good form. I think he should have gone very close in last year's Melbourne Cup when just drew wide and just covered so much ground as the race developed back to the inside. I thought he was loomed up there and just had way too much to do in that race. I think he's going as well as ever. Wet track for him is no issue whatsoever. He gets through it nicely, and I just think he brings the class. You get a better draw this time. You get Craig Williams aboard, and along with our Riffer, he is the class in the race, and he gets a couple kilos off him for being rated the same at time form. So even on the weight adjusted, he's right in there, and I think the market will come for him.
Trent, very bullish on number 2, Buckaroo. He's had 5 wins, 3 at 1,600, 1 at 1,700, and 1 at 1,800. And you've got him favourite over 3,200, which is fascinating. Nick, do you buy into the theory that that horses know what they're doing and can run past? How long have we got?
No, I think they do, honestly. Like, growing up around them, I think they're probably a bit smarter than some punters give them credit for. But
as the drive-by on me.
I think as a whole, when you play the ratings game, you probably can't factor it in too much, can you? So
if you start thinking about that stuff, you start thinking about what colours they're wearing at that point, and it's just, you've got to block all that stuff out.
Big rabbit
it's a
hole,
slippery
isn't
slope.
It? Yeah. I don't think he's that well weighted, actually. Yep. So he runs second in the Caulfield Cup last year, runs 54.5 kilos. Melbourne Cup he carries 54.5. He hasn't won a race since the Underwood. I just think he could have got it. He could have got in better if I wanted to back him. He's racing well. I think he run 3,200 meters. It's a harder race than last year, but he's probably better advantage on a wet track. So there's fours and against. I was a little bit around him, but I could see why you'd like him for sure.
I really wanted to find him. Just Chris Waller grand final, class horse.
Apparently the rumour is that this was always his grand final as well. Very sneaky things coming out of the Racing and Sports office, that he was always going to the Melbourne Cup. Take that what you will.
Yeah, I really wanted to find him. I think he's a class horse. He's got brilliance. Has a turn of foot. 3,200 metres on a wet track. I know he gets through the wet. That is my concern. I know he had to circle and do a lot of work in last year's Melbourne Cup, but the last 50, he just looked like he had enough.
It is a slight knock, but I think you're probably better for a second run at it like this time around. And if he has been trained for it, I don't think what he did last year said that he wouldn't run it in a decent scenario.
Yeah,
I think it's still an unknown, but I don't think it's a knock.
Yeah, Deno.
Yeah, he ran 3,400 last year, so I think he'll get the trip. Exact same profile as what Chris did with Very Elegant. I think you read the form there. And recency and bias, Gold Trip, Very Elegant, both went through the Cox Plate, carried 57, I think, and 57.5 to win a Melbourne Cup. I'm slightly leaning towards adjusting my opinion on these weights, and I used to sort of pen a lot of these high-weighted gallopers, but I think recency with the change in the rules in this race, I think you look at the stats, I think the last 4 or 5 winners, a lot of those have carried sort of 55 plus. I think Very Elegant, Gold Trip, and then we saw Without a Fight as well. So I could see that being a point why you don't like him, but I love him. I think he's getting the right draw, right setup. Yes, a wet track might not see out 3,200, but he's going to get the right run in the race to get every chance to do it. So he's a winning result for me in this year's Melbourne Cup.
There you go.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.